Good afternoon. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, we'll continue with the module 5. We have started with the topic how to publish any mobile app in the Google Play Store that we have discussed in the previous class. That is the chapter number 15. Now we are going to discuss about the database. Which database that they are going to use in the mobile app. See, one of the database that they are going to use is Firebase. I think you have heard this name Firebase. This is the one they are going to use uh, to store some data of the of your app. See, and also we are going to discuss the ads for your mobile, how to set the ads or how you can make money from the ads that we are going to discuss. In that, first we'll start with the database called Firebase. What actually this Firebase is, which, whether we have only one database for the apps? No, you have so many other options are there, SQLite. In that way, you have so many other options are there to interact with the database. But we are going to discuss here uh, one of them, that is Firebase. Who is the vendor of this Firebase is Google itself. They have provided this database. Whether the only the Android app developers they have to use? No, even the Apple iOS app developers, the web app developers, everyone can use this Firebase. If you have some information about relational database RDBMS, it is no way related to the RDBMS. In the relational database, you will have rows and columns. There is a concept of rows and columns. They are going to store all the values using the rows and columns, but here it is somewhat different in the Firebase. Okay, whether the Firebase is used for just to store the data? No, even you can test your app, even you can earn from the app, or you will get the statistic analytics of the app. For so many others features are also there in this Firebase. It is not just only to it will help you to store the data. It will have some other features like testing the app, earning the revenues, or to get the analytics. Analytics means how many of the people are using your app. All those that statistics you are going to get about your app from this Firebase. Okay, actually how to use this, where we have to see this Firebase. See, if you go to this address, I'll show it here. See, this is what the address, console.firebase.google.com. If you have one Gmail account, it requires one Gmail account to log in. After that, see here, you can create a project. With the project which is going to interact with this Firebase. You have to create one project, and from your mobile app, it has to interact with this project. Even you can have multiple projects here, but your mobile app, it is going to integrate with, or it is going to work with one of the project, because multiple apps you can will communicate with this multiple projects. Okay, this is where console.firebase.google.com. This is the link where you can create a project for Firebase, and then you can use it in your mobile app. Whenever you create, what is the first thing you are going to see is it will show you the welcome screen that we have seen now, and also the button to create a new project. You have so many other features are there that if you start using the Firebase, you are going to get. What is the analytics you are going to get from the Firebase? From the Firebase, you can see where your exactly the app is being getting used, where the location, and how the your your app is being used. All that analytics that you are going to get, and also how many people they are going to use over the time, and also from different locations, from which country, where they are using your app. That informations you are going to get from this Firebase. But what you are not going to see is, which is anonymized, is the actual identity who is exactly using your app. That informations you are not going to get. If you give that much of informations, uh, then it may be a problem may occur because of the security issues. Who is the actually using this app? Who is the user? If that information is being displayed means, then it creates a problem. It will become a security issue. That is why that informations you are not going to get. Who is going to use your app? Okay. If you want this type of analytics, what are the things you have to add in your code, your app, that should be linked to the Firebase project? After that, in your Android Studio, you make sure you install the Google Play services. Okay. After that, there is a file called build.gradle, that you know, right? Build.gradle files. In that Gradle file, you have to add this line, some dependency, compile com.google.firebase core version. You have to add this line. So many times I have opened this build.gradle file. There you have to add one more entry like this. If you add this much, there is no other code is required to get the other information, like who is using, means how, when, where people they are going to use all these apps. In order to get all these informations, no need to add any code for that. Automatically it is going to send you that information. Okay. This is what the analytics. See here, even you are going to get what all the actions that will be done by the user, whether he is going to click on the button, whether he has opened a separate screen, all that you are going to get using this analytics event. Everything that will be logged, it will be stored somewhere. That will be stored somewhere. And if you want to see at the end of a month, after 30 days, if you want to see the analytics, yes, you can go to the Firebase console. There you have to select analytics, and in that dashboard you are going to get all reports of last 30 days, what all the actions that will be done, what all the default analytics you are going to get, how many of the numbers are using, which are the mobiles or the computers or with tablets, or which devices they are going to use your app, which location, from which part of the world the users are using this app, and some information about the gender, which is the app version, and other some more informations. All these informations you are going to get by default. Some other extra informations if you want, some part of the coding you have to do. Okay, these are the default analytics. Even if you don't request also, that data will be already available. See the other kind of analytics. What is the another kind of analytics is? It is about the events. What type of events the person is going to do, whether he has clicked on a button or any other event. For that, we have a class called Firebase Analytics. You have to create an instance of that. See, Firebase Analytics. object name equals Fireblade analytics dot get instance. If this function, it is going to give you the object of this class. See, no need to use the keyword called new. You can directly use this function called get instance of this, that will give you the object of this Firebase analytics. With this uh, object, there is a function called log event that will send the usage data. That is going to send you the usage data about your app. Here there is a second argument called null. What this information is, if you want to give some more information about the event, that you can create a bundle object. In that bundle object you have to put some data, and then you have to send it as a second argument. Okay, these are the default analytics. And if you want to give some more information to your project in your app, if you want some more statistics, then you have to add this much of code. This is the code you have to add in your app, that will give some more informations in your app itself. This is all about the analytics. Do you have any doubts in this? Do you have any doubts in the Firebase analytics? Yeah, am I audible? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, next is Firebase notifications. See, some messages you can send to all the users of your app. A single broadcast message. You are the owner of the app. You want to send some message to all the users of your app. That is called, that option is there in the Firebase. This Firebase notification in the console, Firebase console. See, where is the Firebase console is here. Whenever you create a project, whenever you create a project, example, some mad demo project. Accept the argument. See that what information I have giving the location where exactly I am using it. See here, this is what is going to create the project. I've given the project name as MED demo project. Whatever the window that you are going to get, that is called as the project console. Okay, see now the project is been created. If I want to do anything, if I want to store anything, everything, it is under this project itself. See here, if I do anything here, that will all, it will be included in this project. Now, in order to create, I can create the project. See, this is how it's you are going to create. You can start adding the name and value. Name 1, that is the name I have given. Here, key value pair. This is how the data gets stored inside the project, MAD demo project. Okay. From this Firebase, if you want to send an information, some information to all of the users or some sort of selected users, then you can type a message in the notification section of the console, and then you can send the message that will reach only a particular user or subset of the user or all of the users. However, you are going to select, in that way the message will be sent. What exactly the Firebase in the background it is going to use? The Firebase will use cloud messaging technologies to send the information to the targeted devices. What is the best practices for sending this notification? What we have to follow is, the best practices is always you have to send only the notifications which are important. You should not irritate the users by sending unnecessary all the informations to the user. Project is created, project is been deleted, project some attribute name is been changed. All the informations you should not send as a notification to the user, because that is not at all required. And all the other best practices of sending the notification, the same uh, practices you have to follow. What are the best practices which we have already seen? With that, these are the extra two is only the important notification you should send, and also you should not irritate the users by sending too many. Okay. How actually we are going to store the data? We discuss now analytics and the notification. Now we will go for actually how we are going to store the data. Firebase real-time database. Just now have shown, right? Real-time database. This is the one. Okay, you are going to create some data here. See this data, MAD demo project default. There is a key called name and value is value one. Okay. If the app, if it is, see, this is a separate website, right? In this website you have a data. Your mobile app is somewhere. If the mobile app, if it is being connected to the internet, then the data will be synced with the data which is being present in the database. If the app goes offline, means if the app is not connected to the internet, then even the data will be available, but the latest data what is there in the database that not be available. Once it connects, it is going to sync, means the latest data that gets updated in your app. Example, see here, from the mobile app you have changed this value 1 to value 2. You have opened the browser and you have changed. But if your mobile app, it is not connected to this website, this project, because your app doesn't connected to the internet. If it is not connected to the internet, then the value 2 will not be available in your app. Just the value 1 will be seen in your app. Once your app gets connected to this, it gets the value 1 will be changed with the value 2. That is the meaning of sync. Data will be synced to the latest state of the database. How actually in the database it is stored? As I said, in the SQL, the data will be stored in the form of rows and columns. How means it will be like this. In the database, in this way, data will be stored. There will be a name, then age, then salary, address, pin code. In this way, there will be a columns. There will be a column name. Then we are going to add the data for that. This is what the rows and columns. In this way, we are going to store in SQL database. But this structure, rows and column structure, we are not going to use in case of Firebase. What is the structure they are going to use is this is called as JSON structure. JSON. This JSON structure, how it contains it is like a tree structure. See, there will be a here is one example of JSON tree of books. Okay, if you are going to store the information related to the books, this is an some identifier. Books is a broader information. That book information you are going to store. Open the flower brackets, close it here. Book 1. What is the title of that? Who is the author? Open and close brackets. See, this is another one more entry. Book 2, that is within the double quotes, colon. Within the flower brackets, what is the key? What is the value? What is the key value? The third row. This is what the tree structure. In this way, this is a JSON structure which is always associated with the key. In this way, it is getting stored in the Firebase. In the SQL database, the data gets stored in terms of rows and columns. If you want to get the data of this, what is the movie title where the main role is Batgirl, or how to add one more movie to this, okay, programmatically. If you want to add, we have a separate functions for that. See here, in order to we always retrieve the data items by the location. See some two activities: Firebase demo, the project name, then inside that database data, inside that books. Then if you give this much of address, then you will get the access to this books. You have to give this location. You cannot directly give this name books. For that, you have to add this much of address. Two activities: Firebase demo, database dot data. Then inside that, you are going to get books, or here you can change it with movies. Once you have given the address, then you can get the values. You can get the values or you can store the values. For that, there is a function. What all the extra coding you have to do in the build.gradle file. In the build.gradle file is whenever you want to uh, use this Firebase, you have to add this line: compile com.google.firebase firebase-database. This you have to add it in build.gradle file. One more step is you have to include this Firebase project in your app. That setting, everything, it is available in the Android Studio, that you have to link. After linking your app to the Firebase project, you have to add this line in the build.gradle. After then you can start coding. See here, what exactly it is there in the book? There will be a title, there is an author. Okay, just leave this constructor, default constructor. If I pass title and a author, that gets set to this method. Okay, don't worry about this class. First we'll see the functions, how to add the data to the Firebase programmatical. There are functions. There is a child function is there, there is a set value function is there. Child function, what it is going to give, it will give you the child node. See, child node is this one: movie 1, movie 2, movie 3. These are the child nodes. This is the main node, these are the child nodes. The child method will give you the access to this. What about the set value? Inside that child, you have to create a node and you have to set the value. See now. Now, if you want to add, suppose book 4, I want to add book 4. That the title is how to edit data and the author is an editor. If you want to add this, I'm talking about the main activity. Inside the main activity, I'll get the address of that. Firebase database dot get instance get reference of books. If what this books, it is going to get the address is, it is going to get the address of this node. After that, you can add entry inside this node. If you want to add it to the movies, you have to give the name movies here. Where? Here. Get reference movies. Then you can add movie data. I'll write one custom function. In the custom function, add new book. Book ID I will pass. Title, author. See the function. This reference, because we want the address. Inside the address dot child. The child will give you the address of that particular node. See, this is what the book ID. Then inside that you are going to pass book object. What it contains? Title and author. If you pass like this, what it is going to do is, it is going to add one more, that is book 4, how to edit the data. If you actually open the Firebase console and check, you will see the data like this: an editor. If you want to add like this, in this way, you have to write this class and this much of code. You have to pass like this: add new book, then book 4, how to edit data and an editor. From here, the call will go here. Then dot child set value, it will pass this book object. Then that gets entry in the Firebase console. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಒಂದು entry ಬರುತ್ತದೆ. Okay, this is how we are going to add the data inside the Firebase console.